In a world where machines are becoming smarter and more advanced than ever before, we are here to explore the cutting edge of artificial intelligence. Meet our host, Eric Anthony Jones, aka Ruler in Peace, as he dives into the world of AI, its benefits and its potential dangers. He, along with his future hosts and co-hosts, will be speaking to the people who are at the forefront of AI development and its early implementation stages. We'll show you how AI can revolutionize industries and transform our daily lives, and will confront the fears surrounding AI in order to take you beyond the fear of a world existing only of cold logic. By the time this journey is over, we will discover the power of AI and delve into the creative uses of AI, sparked out of the creative ingenuity unleashed within the depths of the human mind. Join us on this action-packed journey into the world of artificial intelligence, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Machine Minds, the show where we explore the latest in artificial intelligence and its impact upon the world. I am very excited and happy to have first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm your host, Ruler in Peace, and today I'm joined with Pamela Chung, is like Director of Marketing of Asia Pacific and Japan, CEO and founder of P Living, founder member of TGIF Business Network Group Singapore. And so, Pamela, thank you so much for joining us today. And to start off, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your background in AI?
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Pamela Chung. I short form call me Pam C because C is a very Chung is a very difficult pronunciation. My family name is pronounced in Cantonese, right? Actually, I'm based in Singapore, right? Yeah. So professionally, I'm a full-time working for a cybersecurity company in charge of the regional marketing across Asia Pacific and Japan, right? I'm also the CEO and co-founder of P Living, which means Power Living, which is a health advocate for people to eat right and live healthy, right? Part of my other interest is I'm also one of the members, right, founding members for TGIF that is hosted every month in Singapore, pulling all the business entrepreneurs together, right? So about my background, right, on AI, right? I've been over 20 years in the IT industry. And a lot of things that I've been doing is very much related to information technology on the cybersecurity space, right? So as a cybersecurity marketer, I'm always on the forefront looking for new trends, right? And my work and the experience I have brought me to a lot of new technology that is just beginning in this part of the world, especially in Asia, right? Previously, I was in a company called Elastic, and that is how I actually get in touch with machine learning, right? We know that AI started with machine learning into deep learning, and before it became AI. The traditional machine learning is very, very difficult, right? But as I see the market evolve, right, there are more and more people actually embracing AI in their daily life. Yeah. Right. And I think in terms of technology wise, I'm sure everybody know about open source, which is open source in AI, open source in application, right? Open source are free application that is developed by passionate developers that make it available, right? And that spearheaded a lot of enthusiasts and technology to actually build the application on top of it. And I truly believe open source is one of the way that actually get massive deployment and creativity along on the technology itself.
Absolutely, for sure. And so, is there anything else you'd like to share?
I would say that for me personally, I'm very passionate about AI, right? Why? Because I see the evolving of the technology. To be frank, I believe that AI is inevitable in our life. Yeah. And intertwined into our life daily. It's just that people have different perception of what AI is, right? So Eric, for example, right, have you been using Siri, right? Voice recognition, right? And even some data analytics in part of your role or even in your normal lifestyle, right? These are all run by AI, right?
Exactly.
Of course, uh, it's just that we didn't understand. We thought the AI was very big supercomputer at the back end, manipulating and controlling human beings, right? In fact, human beings ourselves have created this technology, right? And we train them to be even more in tune with us, so they get more intelligence by the input that we put in, right? So we can take for example like for your phone, right? Yeah, your phone, I have iPhone, is connected to my iWatch, right? There's AI running it because there's a virtual training and a virtual capture of all the exercises that I do, the steps that I've taken, and they come up with a dashboard, which means that there's analytics behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this part of the daily life is where AI is involved, right? Even when you scroll right on any social media blog, right? The the data that was collected, and then it caches back into useful analytics that organization are using, like how many
Mm-hmm.
per second are you showing it, right? What are you looking at? What are the content that's given, right? And what are the interests that you have, and making it personalized content for you. This is part of AI. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, um, and you know, I'm curious about what do you see as the future of AI, and so where do you see things going um, in your particular industry? I mean, you're in IT, and so and any other, but you're also you have your business in health. So I know that you have a bent on this from both probably a personal living health lifestyle as well as from a technological IT cybersecurity. So where do you see AI going in the future in your areas, um, basically?
Yep. Let me share with my first passion, which is my cybersecurity area, right? Uh, I see the benefits of how AI can actually help organization to safeguard their assets, right? And also protect and minimize threat in the organization, right? There's a lot of threat that is happening all around the organization and around us. May it be phishing, spam, and ransomware, right? AI can actually help organization to detect the threat and prevent it, right? So how do they do it? They actually monitor data in real time, and they will see the abnormalities, right? And when you see the abnormalities, you're actually trying to indirectly look at the log of the programs and say, well, is this some attacks that's coming in that is very, very unusual, right? Take for example, right? If a network administrator usually log in from 9 to 5, which is a working time, and all of a sudden you have anomalies logging in at 10 or 2 a.m., right?
Hmm.
And though nobody is actually in the office, right? Wouldn't you started alert and actually start looking at what exactly is happening, right? So the data crunching behind it in the real time is what I believe AI has been actually able to provide, and this
Hmm.
is already in progress in some of the organization, right? Secondly is there's a lot of malware attacks and that's in the network traffic, right? So sometimes in the newspaper you will see, oh yeah, there's this organization or big corporation or even government being attacked by some malware, right? And how do they actually detect it? Most of the time the organization or the research team that have the more advanced AI are the ones who actually can monitor this by looking at the traffic and deploying by identifying it, and then they deploy counter active to actually reduce or prevent this from even exploiting into the organization or create even more inconvenience and financial damage to the organization, right? So this about detection, prevention, right? And there's a lot of learning algorithm that people are actually looking at, because the AI language are actually being advanced and deployed, right? We have
Uh-huh.
more, yeah, more languages are coming in, right? So there are folks that actually write a lot of automation, response and prevention application, right? Which also help in terms of reducing their financial impact, their brand impact if they are being gotten attacked, right? So every day we are actually exposed to a lot of negative impact in the cybersecurity. But you will also realize there is a lot of people behind which is using the AI tool to help to minimize and protect and also do advanced tracking, right? So how does this happen? It's all through the AI technology that is actually being provided to them. Yeah.
Gotcha. And so you said that you would like to talk about things that you're Is it only the cybersecurity, or is there
No,
another?
actually, I have others that I'm actually passionate about, right? As mentioned, I'm also talking about, I'm very passionate about health, right? A health advocate that I've been using a lot of social media to share on how to eat healthy, right?
Hmm.
A lot of the sickness in our body are created either by not exercising or eating the wrong type of food or having the wrong diet, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, there's no perfect diet because each of us have a different composition in our body, but having a knowledge as to what is right for our body, what to consume and when to consume and amount to consume, what I call and develop as a WOW program, WAW, right, is very important. What to consume, amount to consume, and when to consume, right? Then create content is actually a very tedious process. If you ask a lot of copywriter or a health expert, right, they have to do a lot of research. I'm sure
Exactly.
you know, right? You are in the
Yes.
business of music, right? You have to read a lot. You have to talk to different business associate, right? Yes, we have Google, but think about the recent Chat GDP, which is a subset of the whole AI program, right? You can easily use Chat to actually write a blog, right? And do some research or even do mass social media copy or
Mhm.
hashtag that is relevant to your content, right?
Mhm.
So how does that help? Which means that AI can actually help you to reduce the time that you spend in each of the content, right? Maybe one content and one blog, you need at least an hour. For me, I need at least an hour or even two when I try to get images, right, that tally with it. But now I can easily do it within 30 minutes,
Yeah.
right? So you save the other 30 minutes to do your strategy, your planning, or even to the extent you can use that to actually monitor and inspect on the AI that actually have given you the output, which means
Yeah.
that question the facts, right? Are these facts true, right? Yeah, find the sources and the reference. And I think the AI tool is improving so much that it will tune to be even better and better. So
Mhm.
imagine it started with maybe a million people testing it, and now you have 100 million people testing it, right? The more input you put in, right, which is accurate and asking, I think the more it can churn out to be a productive tool for us, which is relevant to us, right? And it is personalized. I would like to talk about generative AI, right? Because every one of us who consume information would like personalized information that is pushed to us. We do not want to be sold to and say, oh, this is good. Yeah. But without telling us, how is it relevant to me and benefit to me? Right.
Mhm.
So the AI can take in all these behavioral um, instances, tasks that we interact on the digital footprint and push us very personalized content. Just like I'm trying to get personalized content on the health to some of the folks who may have like I want to lose weight or I just want to build my muscle. These are different goals and objectives in the health, right? Yeah,
Correct.
that is where I felt that technology helped, but the AI part of it is accelerating and speeding up this. Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And so, um, I agree with you completely with what you were saying. There was something I wanted to when we're talking about AI and AI being able to also not just get to the point of personalizing, but just give us back our time, basically. And so that's where, because that's basically what you're touching upon a lot, is that some people still look at AI as kind of like a microwave mentality where you can just spit something out and it's just going to give you something, and then you can just put it out to the world and share it. But um I find that AI is, if you do the popcorn approach, or if you try to do the microwave oven approach, where you're just trying to get a quick response, a quick answer or whatever, without thinking about what you're putting into it, is like, then, all the content is just kind of watered down, so to speak. But when you take the time to actually think about what you want to do, it can give you such valuable information that you share with your audience, with your clients, etc., and free up you, like you said, to be able to not just even that, it just give you back more of your life so that you can actually live your life. Would you agree with that? I mean, because when you use it for that, you get time back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is one aspect of it. Yeah, when you actually can have, people say that maybe touching too many screen we have mental wellness issue, but if
Uh,
you actually know how to use it, and you have a discipline to actually know at what time what do you do, it actually gave you back much more personal time, right, which you can recharge and actually look at other things, right.
correct.
I will also say that uh, AI also explore creativity, right. Yeah, there are avatar AI images, right, that this machine can produce, which previously it take a long time to do so, right. Yeah, it can also search and comb and combine different images together, right, which the AI can create images of such, which it
Mm,
used to be you need to pay a copy a illustrator, right, just to
yeah,
do it, right.
yeah.
Imagine now you can self-help, right, and say I want to create a special logo for my ingredient brands, right, and then you just use the AI and you have different variation. First thing is save your cost. Secondly is that you can explode your mind to think about, hey, why didn't I think of this, right? The weirdest design or the combination may be the more attraction and appealing, right,
Mhm.
to the audience here, right? Yeah, so it is what I felt very personalized and very generative in terms of how you actually want to groom and train it so that it will be to your benefit.
Mhm. You brought up something that was really interesting, and I know a lot of our listeners, some of our listeners are just, getting into AI and they're curious or whatever. And you brought up a good point about being able to use AI to help generate a logo or this or that. Have you done that personally? And if so, what tools did you use to actually do something like that?
Uh, I actually have just started working on one personalized AI, and in that they actually have the phase one of the version have image generation, right? So I was playing around with it, but not for the logo creation yet. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but more like content, right? So I
Uh-huh.
say a cat in uh give me a picture of a cat in Sentosa, which is an island here
Uh-huh.
that is in the golf course, right? You can hardly see a cat in the golf course,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is weird, right? I mean, no way you can take a picture of such unless you bring a photographer and you bring your cat and then place everything there. But
Yeah,
AI
yeah.
generate it across, right?
And
Yeah,
which
that's
program did
it.
you, I have an idea of which program you did, but which program did you use to do that? I'm just curious.
It was a third party program, yeah, which
Um,
is launching very soon. So it's not those that is available out in the market yet.
okay,
Mhm.
all right. So I don't know that. Okay, thanks. All right. So now let's talk about potential risks of AI. I mean, you're in cybersecurity, et
Mm,
cetera. So
yep.
I would like your thoughts on ethical concerns around AI and potential safety and ethical concerns.
Yeah, the in the cybersecurity space, you always have the good hat as well as the bad hat, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, technology is to me a double-edged sword, right? If you are actually using it with wrong intention, right, things will go wrong. Like bad hackers and theater actors who's actually using AI to generate codes, malicious code that go out to attack different network or in different cyber security space or even in the cloud security, right? Yeah. So this is the part that a lot of people are grappling with the fear, right? They were saying, oh, AI may not be good because AI generated a lot of codes, right? Developer codes that can be that can actually cause a lot more harm. But think about it, like what if there's a flip side of the coin, right? It's either the head or the tail, right? If we look at the other part of it, if we use it right, then ethically it can help to stop all this threat, because you have to wear the hat of the bad guy to know what the good guy is supposed to do, or vice
Mhm.
versa,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So in the cybersecurity space, this is the two school of so-called thoughts about it, right? But on the other hand, right, think about it. If we input non-confidential information and we just use it for technical writing, yeah, right. So a person may spend 3 months doing a technical writing, but with the AI, they can actually draft up the framework, get it out, right, and then revise it and get it done maybe in 7 or 12 days, right? That is the time that's shortened and make that particular technical writer to be actually more efficient, right?
Mhm.
And he can actually go on to do multiple projects. So if I'm an employer and or the entrepreneur, I would rather use this technology, hire a person and do multiple projects than to actually get the person just to start with one project for 3 months, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So there is an ethical issue which is not defined yet by a lot of government or law, right? It's about the data privacy. And yeah, so GDPR is a very hot topic at that time. But when it comes to technology on AI, how is the data transfer? How is this being used, right? Who will actually be using and abusing it? I think that is something that is causing a lot of concern for across all the association, and definitely is worth taking note of, right? When we look into this aspect of it. Yeah. Second part of it is for the cybersecurity, there's always this risk assessment and compliance part of it, or the governance part of it. Every single government or every single vertical association does have its own compliance and governance framework, right? If you are in healthcare, there's a HIPAA, right? If you're in government, there's one. If you are in banking, there's also another one, right?
Mhm.
These are industry standard, but at the same time, it can be also be a double up with a country standard, right?
Yeah.
Because of the data sovereignty, right? So how would a AI player look into that and say, okay, what I'm developing and the output of it that's coming out is actually conforming to this governance and the compliance? Because a lot of organizations are finding if they don't conform to this, right, they either have data loss, which is reputational loss, financial loss, or even fine or civil law, right? That is from the government. So this is a
Exactly.
very, very serious issue. Yeah.
And so it would be interesting if AI was already, when you had an AI entity, that it was already pre-programmed with all those things already built in, so that if
Ah,
if its creator tried to create something that was outside of compliance, it would say, sorry, sir, I cannot do that.
I'm waiting for somebody who actually going to create that. That means that you actually put in all the compliance, right? And then the AI can actually come back with a proposal and say, hey, th- fill in this, and you just type on this and say these are the compliance standard across the world for this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. So it become like a checklist
yeah,
that you
yeah.
actually can use it. Yeah. Instead of trying to pull and talk to different association and countries, then this is your checklist and say, am I conforming to that? That would be
Got
fantastic.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
would be. And so thank you for sharing your insights with us today. And before we wrap this up, could you share with us a specific project or accomplishment related to AI that you're most proud of?
Uh,
It doesn't have to be your own project, but you've got your fingers in there, etc. So I'm just curious if there's anything, whether it be something that you're personally involved in or something that you've observed.
I guess it's something I observe. I haven't come up with a big AI project yet, right?
Uh,
But in my daily life as a marketer, I have been using AI to actually do a lot of copy editing, right? Yeah. Using it actually to refine the script for my telemarketers, right? For using AI to actually work on advertisement copy, right? And also maybe doing some other digital copy for social media, right? So I realized that the more I train my AI itself, the more it will churn out the tone, the verbiage that is very relevant to the brand of the company as well as my personality, right?
uh-huh.
So these are the daily usage I've been using AI on, right? Yeah. On the personal side of it is that I also like to explore different topic, right? Just like if observe and see something that is a daily life, right? Maybe just a conversation on the train that I overheard somebody, right? And I don't really understand, right? I will actually use the chat GDP and create and ask question, right?
Mhm.
And that's how I get my knowledge, right? Sometimes, but of course I will test it with whatever that is reference, and it will entice me to actually think further and say, hey, is there something that is worthy to share with more people? Because this is a very interesting piece of news, right? Or something that is very much on concern, right? Like, for example, mental health. People are talking about mental health, right? How do we address the mental health of the senior or the post-COVID, right? So
Mhm.
people were talking about, folks are coming back and gather more, right? Because we have been locked down for 3 years, and in my back of my mind is I was thinking, how does AI help in mental health, right? What are the interesting topics that I actually would like to explore further, and thus the mental health part of it relates to our overall well-being, right? Which is back to my P living, right?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, exercising, but are you sleeping well as your mental health, right? Yeah, and I'm excited as I go through this process, right? I think I will have more relevant content, right, that I can share with my reader, and I
Mhm.
want to use the platform to actually educate as well as to share, um, I would say, practical as well as accurate and relevant information to impact people's life.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I've noticed, at least as far as the guests that I've been attracting to this show, is people are looking at all of this and all that they do to better the lives of others, to empower others, to uplift others. So that's very impressive what you just said, and it touches me. It really moves me, Pam.
Just
Um,
what you're doing, Eric. Music,
yes, thank you.
empowering, embracing, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Change the mentality of a person, right? Make them lifted up. Yeah,
yeah.
we have the common goal.
Absolutely. So, lastly, before we close down for this episode, is there anything else you'd like to add about AI or your work in this field, or anything? This is your last moment to just whatever you want to share with the world is like share it.
All right. I would want to reiterate and say AI is inevitable in our life. Yeah. So it will have more and more impact, but it's just very subtle, right? Everybody who's actually going through these changes just learn how to embrace it, right? By how do we embrace it? By reading a little bit more but not fearful about it, right? By checking with the expert, right? By understanding how this AI technology is going to improve my life, right? Have a positive attitude to embrace it, then the world will actually use it in the right way. Like what I mentioned, technology is always a double-edged sword, right? If we use it right, we will be benefiting the world and the rest of the folks, right? If we use it wrong, like in the cybersecurity on the attacks and threats, right, bad things will happen, all
Mhm.
right? What I hope through your program, Machine Minds, is to actually share more on AI, more on how it can improve the lives of people. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we are wrapping up another episode, and I would just like to thank you, Pamela, for joining us on Machine Minds. And, I appreciate you. I've had a chance to talk with you outside of this space a few times, and I appreciate all that you do. So thank you so much for giving us your time. Thank you for being a part of this show and for being able to impart what's inside of you with our viewers. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Ruler in Peace. And if you are following this, please click subscribe. That's my promotion.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm always going to close out with thank you for the audience for tuning in, and join us next time as we continue to explore a fascinating world of AI. Our next episode will be in 2 weeks, and come back. Make sure that you share this with your friends. And on that little note, we begin to, we'll just go ahead and close on out with just a little bit of background music and say goodbye to the folks. So this is go out here with Machine Minds, and so with just a little bit of head bobbing, you know what I mean? Because AI is interesting, it's empowering, it's inspiring, it's not something to be afraid of. You just got to get out there and get your little freak on. So everyone,
thanks, Eric. Thanks for having me on the program. Yeah, follow me. Yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye bye.